What if the first music creation software that you ever used came from a cereal box? Because in 2001, Disney did exactly that. Radio Disney's Music Mix Studio came bundled in my breakfast almost 25 years ago, and I never forgot it. Mostly because it's inspiringly bad. 11-year-old me was never able to figure this software out. So I bought a fresh copy and I'm firing it back up to see if I can actually make something with it now. And if I survive that, I'll bring the creation into modern recording software to see if I can make it sound not terrible.
Can I turn these clunky, soulless Radio Disney loops into something actually listenable? Or is this where creativity goes to die?
The early 2000s were a golden age of random software in cereal boxes. You'd pour a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and instead of a toy, you'd find an AOL disc or a demo for jumpstart typing. Or in this case, a bootleg-looking music production suite featuring Mickey Mouse and Radio Disney branding. It said I could make my own music videos, which was kind of a lie, but more on that later. And I could email them to fans. I didn't even have fans. I didn't even have email. I was 11. Another thing I appreciated about this was that this wasn't a mail order situation where you fill out a form on the back of the box and have to wait for them to mail your software. And I have some of those, but I'll cover these in a future video. The demo CD for this, though, was actually in the cereal box in a sleeve that looked like this. But when I repurchased it more recently, it came in the full original manufacturer's packaging, which I did not open right away because I needed to show you this very important sticker. It proudly advertises that it includes a microphone. This was premium software right here. And according to the back of the box, becoming a pop star is as easy as 6 steps. Step 1, choose from an impressive lineup of musical genres. Step 2, customize your masterpiece using over 100 loops. Wow. Step 3, record your vocals, or if that's too ambitious, just add applause or cheers. Step 4, create a full music video with funky animations. Their words, not mine. Step 5, use the built-in desktop player to enjoy your creation. Of course, it's in a very unfortunate proprietary file format. And finally, step 6, save your song and send it to friends and fans, assuming you have either. Once I opened the box, it got even better. There were promo materials for Disney's up-and-coming artist Myra, an ad for a lab tech headset you could apparently buy to upgrade your already premium mic, and a Radio Disney flyer featuring icons like A-Teens and Aaron Carter. Then of course we have the CD-ROM itself and the included microphone, which I was oddly excited to open. This is the mic. It's just this little guy. Do you hold it like this to sing? Ah! Now we can move on to installing the software. And you know you're in for a good time when there's music that plays during setup. Then we can just breeze through this part. I don't read anything anyway. And of course we need to restart the computer. And then we can start up the program. And this is the first screen that I'm greeted with. Okay, so it's not incredibly clear, but this is the load or save screen. Apparently we get 20 slots. Look, I'm already making music. We'll just select number 1. What does this mean? There is no text on this software, just colored buttons that dance sometimes and make little sounds, but ultimately leave you mystified as to their actual purpose. So I'm guessing this is the sequencer where you can choose which loops you want to use and assemble them. I'm guessing this button lets you record vocals. This button causes a little blue man to dance. Could we just have some text on the screen that says, start here? I started at the large blue dot, and what I landed on was basically a very watered down version of a DAW. It had the basics like instrument tracks, mute and solo buttons, and volume sliders. But then at the bottom of the screen were 9 tiny picture icons with the essentials, you know, an alien, a pair of sunglasses, plus these little guys that were just bopping along down there. A trip back to the help document explained it. The 9 icons represent 9 different genres to choose from, each with 3 predefined songs to mess around with. Up first is pop dance. Then pop ballad. Techno. Rap. Rock. Blues. Jazz. World music. I'm kind of vibing to this one, to tell you the truth. And lastly, retro. What I want to know is, what are these little dancing characters? Oh, if you are building your own song, each of these little dancing characters represents one of the specific tracks. It might be keyboards, this guy is drums, and so you use these to choose your loops. Like I can pick this. Do I double click? They make it very unclear with how to get your track to the actual timeline. I tried dragging, double clicking. Am I missing something? Back to the help document. Here we go. To place a block on the mixing board, click on the musical block and then click on that instrument track in the mixing board. So we click it and then click here. Goodness gracious. I have it on good authority that this is actually how Disney makes their music now. They just have a slightly more robust version of this software, and they must just pipe all the loops in and just press shuffle. And then there you have it, a new Disney hit song. Who was this for? A younger kid who can't read probably wouldn't care about arranging drum loops. And an older kid who could read would probably just want words to tell them what's going on. So instead, I had to keep exiting the program entirely and opening up the README file just to figure out what I was supposed to do next.
But now that I've cracked the code on how this software was meant to work, I think we can make something out of it.
This one is speaking to me right now, so I think I'm going to build a song with this genre, which I think was world, which makes sense since it's the world. And then after I compose a little snippet, we'll use the microphone that was included in the box to record a vocal and see what it sounds like. We'll speed through this part so you can see the process, which took about 5 minutes. Here I was just choosing and arranging the loops to create the song. I don't have a plan in mind, I'm just going off of vibes, but you really can't mess up considering that the loops are all made to work perfectly with each other, so you could literally do this without even listening and it would turn out fine. That can be the end. So now it was time to leave the track builder and head over to the vocal recorder. I need some lyrics to sing. What does this sound like? I'm getting water. You're at the whim of the earth and the universe. I listened to the song a few times and then left to pop open Notepad and write a melody and some lyrics. Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games. It took a few minutes to iron out the words and melody, but then I was ready to move on and record the vocals. Full disclosure, I did do 4 takes before I landed on the one that I kept, which I wasn't really happy with anyway, but then I decided it was time to move on. All right, let's record this mess.
Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games. Now it's time to let go. It's time to react. There's no holding back. Universe unite.
Now I gotta hear some of the effects.
Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games.
Some of them don't seem to work.
Now it's time to let go. Rushing with the waves.
Side note, there are actually more effects, but you have to download them after purchase from the Radio Disney Music Mix Studio website. I'll check after this, but I can almost guarantee you that website is long gone, so we won't be able to access those effects. So now let's go to the third tab. What was the third tab? Let's just open up the help document real quick. So these little guys, the mini balls, lets you pick like background colors. So this is basically where you're supposed to make your music video. And I say music video with very heavy quotation marks because it's definitely not an editor by any stretch of the imagination. You just pick some random animations, have them dance around on the screen, maybe toss in some goofy sound effects while your song plays in the background, and that's it. Congratulations, you're a director. And after you're done, you can export your masterpiece to share with friends, assuming of course that your friends also happen to own this exact software. Save as type Radio Disney email music files, because it only plays through the proprietary Radio Disney desktop player. So hopefully your friends ate the same cereal that you did. Here's a little sample of what we ended up with.
Go. It's time to react.
Now it's time to give this song a glow up in modern editing software. I will be using Logic Pro X for this sonic experiment.
I went through and soloed each track so that I could capture each sample separately. Once it was all recorded, I brought it into Logic and started chopping it up and arranging it exactly how it had been arranged, essentially, in the Radio Disney software. But now, with full control over each track, I can add compression, a bit of EQ, some reverb, etc. I'm taking this synth and I'm adding a Neural DSP plugin, which is the Corey Wong plugin, to add like a shimmer effect because I think it really opens and brightens it up. Then I was able to record the vocals with my SM7B microphone.
It's time to react. There's no holding back.
And after I captured all of the vocals, I went through and added some pitch correction, EQ, compression. I didn't want to spend hours on this, so finally I had to call it quits. And let's listen to the finished result.
Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games. Now it's time to let go.
You know, it's not terrible. It definitely could be worse. So 24 years after first discovering this software, I was finally able to create a song in Radio Disney Music Mix Studio. It just took over 2 decades of practice and absolutely no help from Mickey Mouse.
And if you think this was cursed, wait until you see me try to make a multi-track song in nothing but Windows Sound Recorder. It's like trying to edit audio with a rock. Thanks for watching!
Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games. Now it's time to let go. It's time to react. There's no holding back. Universe unite. Yeah. Rushing with the waves, tired of all your games. Now it's time to let go. It's time to